Welcome back to Spirit Spells and Magic. In this episode we are looking at setting up your altar. If you can find a small space, even in the corner of your house, preferably near a window so as that you've got nature nearby, and a small table or coffee table that you could lay out a nice cover and start setting up a place that's all yours, where you won't be disturbed. What is an altar? An altar is a space that you can practice. If you're interested in the spirituality, if you like to look at tarot cards or oracle cards, if you like to spend some time meditating, if you like to do spells or rituals, or just sit and journal, then an altar is a place where you can sit quietly, undisturbed. It's just your place, and preferably with a table so that you can lay your cards down and your craft. But it's somewhere nobody else touches, not a dinner table or a craft table that your kids use. Try, if you can, to have a place that's just for your items. And keep it clean. That's one of the number one rules. Show the altar respect and it will work magic for you. Where? Well, you can put an altar really anywhere. But the main thing is that it's a comfortable space that you can do your work, your practice. I like to place mine under a window so as I can look out and see nature while I'm meditating or using oracle cards and tarot cards. It's just a nice peaceful spot. And it's better not to have it in an area where there's a lot of people. Your family spends a lot of time in the lounge room. Try, if you can, to have it in a bedroom where it's much more quiet. I myself have forced to have mine in the lounge room, near where I keep my books and crystals and things like that, but it's an area to the corner, out of the way, that isn't disturbed. This place will change. Sometimes you may move home, or you may rearrange your house, and the space may grow as you get more confident or do more things with your altar. You may require more space. Just remember that it's your space. It's your altar. You have it as large or as small as what you require or want. What to place on your altar? Well, once again, this is entirely up to you. You need to think about what you'll be using the altar for. I have things such as oracle cards, candles, incense. I have my smudge stick and my Palo Santo. I have various crystals that assist me in different things that I do with the altar, such as spells and rituals. If you're finding it hard to think of items to put on your altar, think of things that other people use their altars for, and it might just give you a bit of an idea. You can always use Google to search, what should I have on my altar, and see what ideas come from the internet too, or from the community. There's often forums, Wicca forums and witch forums that you can look on and get ideas from other people on what they're doing. But ultimately, as I've said before, it's your altar, and you can choose as much or as little to have on it. You may only have a small space, so it's best not to crowd your altar so you've got room to do things on it. I also place my journal, as this is a place I can sit and write when I find time or have spare time. You can also put things such as herbs that you require for different spells, as well as protective items to keep negative energy from being around and on your altar. I often use my altar for tarot readings and oracle card readings. I must leave enough space so that I can lay out the cards in different spreads. Pictured here, I don't have a lot of room. This is just for showing. But normally I would make sure that I had enough space to do different readings. And sometimes I would angle it differently too, so I've got more of a vertical space rather than a horizontal space. But it's up to you, once again, how you want to lay out your table and what items you choose to have on it. There are many different things that we use our altars for, but it's primarily what you need and what you want for your altar. It's your altar. So think about the things that you will do with your altar, and then that will lead you to what you need to place. Books are a good option also, to have them handy. I have a bookshelf next to my altar, so as that if I need to look up any spells or rituals, then they're very close at hand. You may have an altar that's a desk with drawers inside, and you may have your books in a drawer or spells in a drawer. It's however is more comfortable for you and accessible for you, and also how much room you have. Not all of us have a lot of room to have a lot of stuff, but it's whatever makes life easier for you. But don't forget that number one rule of keeping your altar clean, because if you respect your altar will show you the magic. But it's definitely somewhere that's your space, so keep it clean. Oh, another thing you can have on your altar are photos of your loved ones or ancestors. Sometimes having people who have passed over on your altar is helpful if you need to make contact with them, or if you just want to feel like they're with you as you do your rituals and spells. I have a photo of my grandparents who have both passed over, and I often talk to them. Sometimes I just sit there and talk to them. I'm not asking anything, it's just a matter of feeling like they're there with me. But there are many things you can put on your altar, such as statues, little ornaments and things like that that make you feel comfortable and at ease. You may even choose to have a picture of the beach or the mountains or a rainforest, somewhere that brings you a sense of calm, especially if you're in a unit block and you don't have much to look at outside the window. You may have another unit straight outside your window. So perhaps having nature photos or pictures of loved ones around helps to give you a sense of calm and a sense of spiritualism. You may even decide to have a spiritual banner or flag or a lamp on your altar. Really anything that takes you to a place of spirituality or calms you is exactly what you need. Using your altar for rituals and spells. What we can do when we're using our altar for these rituals and spells is have the various elements present. Now, it's not like we can build a fire on top of our altar and have it smoking due to fire hazards and things like that. But what we can do is use various items to represent those elements, such as a candle for fire, incense for air, water in a bowl represents water, and salt in a bowl represents earth. As you can see, we may not always have the right items, but what are the right items? It's whatever it represents for you. The more it's real for you, the more the spell will work or the manifestation will come alive. It has to be real for you. You have to believe in what you're doing. But as you can see, I have the items set up in a certain order. Earth is at the top, fire is at the bottom, air is on the right, and water is on the left. Now, there are other items that you can use on your altar, such as a burn bowl or bowl where you can burn a piece of paper. Make sure the bowl is big enough that it will encompass the item. And if you have a personal fire extinguisher handy, make sure that you've got it nearby, just in case. Another symbol used is a bell. Now, I personally don't have a bell, so I'm using a bowl. You can have a singing bowl or any other item that makes a nice sound to cleanse your altar. Mark the start of a ritual or spell and the end of a ritual or spell. You can also have what they call athame, a dagger. That is in the bottom right hand corner, and it is usually a blunt item with a black handle if you have one. The item is not used for cutting at all, but more as a representation. You can have a wand up in the top right hand corner. It's a conductor. These are some of the items I have on my altar if I need to use them for rituals. There's also herbs and many other different things that you can use in different spells and rituals. As you can see, there's a lot that you can do with an altar, but it's all about your personal choice, what an altar means to you, and how much time and love and care you put in to what you do, into your practice. This is just a couple of ideas for a beginner's setup. Once you've been at it for a while, you'll know exactly where to put things and what feels right for you. But this is just for beginners and just starting out. Over time, you'll build up your confidence and the power of your altar will be stronger. The more you use your altar, even if it's just sitting there talking to spirits who've crossed over, doing a tarot reading, sitting there journaling, or even just spending time with your crystals and runes. The more time you spend at your altar, the stronger it will be. And those rituals and spells, tarot readings, manifestations will also become stronger. But this was a basic setup, and over time, as I said, you'll get to know those things where everything feels right and comfortable. But for now, that was the basic setup of an altar for a beginner. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes, how to protect your altar in various ways, keeping that negative energy away. Also, with candles, blowing out or snuffing them. And some episodes on charging your crystals and what type of crystals you can use for various spells, as well as starting beginner spells and rituals. So definitely stay tuned for these upcoming episodes. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and tap that notification bell so you're aware when we're posting more episodes. Thank you for watching. Namaste.